Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Abel Chavez. I hope all of you are doing well, and I am here to share with you Zotero. Uh, the website is zotero.org. What is Zotero? Zotero is a reference management system that's quite similar to EndNote. I think Microsoft Word also has a similar plugin or a similar tool that you could also use. But Zotero is quite robust. It allows you to store, to manage, to share your readings, your articles, citations, references, and also allows you to insert all of these into your write-ups, into your literature reviews, into your papers. Um, but even better than that is that it also allows you, Zotero allows you to share your library, your references, all of your various research materials um, with, um, with other folks. And so it's a really powerful collaboration tool. Um, and in Zotero, you can upload various types of formats from PDFs, websites, newspaper articles, um, and so yeah, as I had mentioned, it's a very powerful collaboration tool that allows you to share with many people um, within a group, multiple groups, across groups, etc. And so in this case, I'm going to be showing you Zotero within the context of ENVS 605. Dr. Jessica Young and I, we have set up a folder for 605, which you can go ahead and request access to. Um, but before any of that could happen, you need to log in into Zotero, create an account. It's fast, free, and very easy to do. And the benefit that we have is that Dr. John Hausdorfer has purchased a unlimited storage Zotero account for us, and so even though the free user account is limited to so many megabytes, this unlimited storage account just kind of adds to the power to collaborate and to share our work. And so there's a few ways that you could go ahead and download. Once you've logged in and created an account, you can download a couple of different Zotero forms, the forms that you could use Zotero. The first one, and by the way, I recommend the use of all of them. At different points for different purposes. But I think all of you will get into your own groove and find your own kind of uses for each one of the different tools. But the one that I would download the first is the Zotero standalone. And so this standalone is essentially this tool here, right? So this is the Zotero standalone. You have your own library, which is the, so many megabytes of storage. And then you have the various groups that you're collaborating with under your group libraries. And so here we see the Western underscore MEM underscore ENVS 605 library. So that's one. And so, although I am a Mac user, for all of you using PCs, you would see the same menu of options except for PCs. So the Zotero standalone is the first. The second one that I would recommend is these various plugins or extensions, depending on the web browser that you're using. I've used all three of them at different points, and Zotero seems to work overall consistently across the three: Firefox, Chrome, and Safari. And so in this video, I am using Firefox, so that's why the default kind of menu here is Firefox. So I would recommend that you also download the browser extension for that browser that you're using. Again, no, I don't have any preference there. And then what I would recommend, the third kind of extension or plugin is the plugin for the Microsoft Word, or if some of you are using LibreOffice, a freeware, you should also plug in or download that plugin, because that, as I'll show you here in a couple minutes, that is what allows you to insert citations into your Word document and also automatically create your bibliographies. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into different ways of uploading a document, a PDF, a newspaper article, a website into Zotero. So here I've prepared um, um, an article that's taken from the Western State Library, and so we click here. Let me close this out, and so this is a article which all of us have access to in Science Direct, right? And let's say that we are interested in the effects of energy use in and urban air quality in different cities or in different urban areas throughout the world. And so we find this article, and upon reading the abstract, we see that yeah, definitely this is one that we want to use, or that we want to perhaps save into our collaborative Zotero library. And so once you've downloaded the plugin for Firefox or that particular browser that you're using, you will see this kind of page here up in your browser. And so once you click there, you'll see that you have the option of saving this particular article into Zotero directly from here. So again, after we decide that yes, definitely this is one that we want to use, you click here. It allows you to save into Zotero. So after we click that, we see that automatically, right, Zotero is generating all of the various citation reference information, right? So once we go into Zotero, right, we see that this article is already pre-selected, right? And this is my library. And so we click it, and we see that it's also generated all of the information from for that article. The type, right? Journal article. If this would have been a website, it would have also shown as website. Title, author information, volume, issue, the date information. So automatically Zotero has generated your full reference and citation information in here. So if we click on the arrow, now we also see that Zotero has saved the actual PDF into your library. So if we double click here, voila, there we go. The PDF is also now saved into our library. But right, we see that this article, right, cool surfaces and shade trees to reduce energy use in urban areas, has been saved into my library. But what if we wanted that saved into our collaborative Western MEM ENVS 605 library? Well, because in my standalone I had my library pre-selected, that's why that article was saved in that section of the library. So let's try this again. If we pre-select, right, the group library that we want the article to be saved in, we minimize this, we go back, right, and then now let's try saving to Zotero again. We see that this is, that this information is being generated again, and here it shows us that it's being saved to the Western _MEM _ENVS 605 library, which is the one that we want to, in this case, this is the one that we wanted to save it to originally. And similarly, right, we see that all of the full citation information has been saved into Zotero. But one thing that's very, very very important, is that we should all take the time once we create a new reference into 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 Zotero. We should take the time to create the proper tags. Tags in Zotero are are just like keywords. It allows us to search for articles of a particular type, in a particular subject matter, in the future. So, sometime down the line at the end of the semester, crunch time, right? All of us are trying to get our assignments in very fast, and we know that back in September we had found this really cool article on cool surfaces and shade trees to reduce energy use in urban areas, but we just don't remember its full title, the authors, or anything about it. But if we took the time to add tags, then we could come back and refer to it in a very short time. So, tags in this case, they could be, let's say, urban areas, right? Could be one tag, and we could add multiple tags. Let's say it could be trees in urban areas, could be another tag. Um, it could be, uh, let's say urban heat island, right? Um, and so again, we could build up a different type of tags for different type of needs and different type of research that we're doing, but it's very important again that we take the time to insert the proper tags so that we and the rest of the collaborative group could come back and refer to these articles in the future. So that's inserting an article. Now, another way of inserting this article into Zotero is that, let's say we have right. So let's say we download this PDF, right? And so we go here. After reading the entire article, we see that, yes, definitely this is an article that we want to save. And so the option is that we could download and save the article onto our computers. And then once saved on our respective computers, here, so for the sake of demo, I'm going to delete this. And so I'm going to move this item to trash. Although, I wouldn't advise this as a common practice just for the sake of the other collaborators in our Zotero library. But a way that you could add a PDF once you have it, and again, it's the same article, but I've saved the PDF onto my machine. You go to this plus sign, again, having the selected group library that's of interest to you. You go store copy of file, right, which is already on your machine. You go to desktop, right, which is where I've saved this file. Go to open, and there it is. However, it's only the PDF, right, that's been saved. But earlier we saw that there was full reference information there. So how do we retrieve that? So you with that particular PDF selected, you right click and you go to retrieve metadata for PDF. Click that, and you see that Zotero begins to retrieve that metadata. And again, a couple seconds afterwards, we see that Zotero has downloaded the type of item, the title, again, author information, and so everything else. And once again, that's another way of inserting a document into Zotero. And as I showed earlier, here again, you could click here, right, on the PDF the file, you double click, and you and everyone else in the collaborative library has access to that PDF now. So another, let's say that we find some information on a website that's very in line with the research that we're doing, um, and let's say that we're we find a newspaper article or a website that's of interest to us and in our research. So after reading this, we say yes. This again, definitely, this is something that we want to insert into Zotero. So in a website, all you need to do is right click. You go down to Zotero. You and you create web page item from the current page. And here we need to refresh. And now we see that this web page, the one that we had just selected, is now in our Zotero library, along with all relevant information. So it's also very likely that most websites will not insert author information. So here we could manually change that devx, and the tags. Let's say it could be sustainable development could be one potential tag. Let's say another one could be developing countries, right? Could be another tag, etc. I guess we should also go back here, right? And for the sake of good practice, we should also add a few tags here. Urban area could be a tag. We also said that urban heat island could be another tag. So now we have those back there. Okay, going back to Firefox. Okay, so this is, that's one way of inserting a website. Here, right, from the World Bank, let's say, we're still continuing on our research of cities, urban areas, energy, and impacts from climate change. We find another really interesting article from the World Bank, right? And again, we want to save this into Zotero. How do we do that? Right, so you right-click, go down to Zotero, create web page item from current page, click that, and in the background, Zotero is generating that. I want to remind you that this option is not available or will not be available unless or until you download the browser extension that I had mentioned earlier, right? So you have to go through this step to be able to have that option available to you in Zotero. So here again, right, we see that this website has already been saved into Zotero, right? But as I mentioned, most websites don't download the author information. So here, let's say it's the World Bank, right? There we go. Tags could be, let's say, urban energy use could be one. Let's say it's energy efficiency could be another tag, so on and so forth, right? Now, let's say that so far we've looked at very kind of global kind of issues and global situations as part of this research. But now, let's say that we're interested, at the local scale. Some of the local kind of energy efficiency headways that let's say Colorado and the Governor's Energy Office is making. So we find this report, the 2010 Colorado Utilities Report, and upon reading this one, again, we see that this is another really interesting article and another one that we want to save into Zotero. But here we don't have, an option. Zotero doesn't recognize this and the full reference information. But we've downloaded this one. Let's say that we've by now saved it onto our machine, and And there it is, right? So, okay, so we've now downloaded this file onto our machine. How do we get it back, or how do we get it into Zotero now? Do you all remember? Right. So having the Western MEM ENVS 605 group library selected, right? You go up to the green plus, right? New item. And so here we go down to store copy a file, which we have the copy, right, on our computer. Now we want to store it into our Zotero group library. So we click there. And now it's asking us, okay, what file do you want to save? So it's this one, right, which is on my desktop. It's the 2010 Colorado Utilities Report. Click, and there we go, right? Okay. Now, remember how we retrieve the metadata for this PDF? Correct. So you right-click on the file, retrieve metadata for PDF. Click there. But here we see that Zotero does not recognize or did not find the metadata for this particular file. So under these instances, what we need to do is manually insert the data for the PDF. And so again, this is a small extra, very, very worthwhile step that we should all create, and that we should all take time to do. And so in this case, we have a few options here, right? Creating a report just shows you when the file was uploaded, etc. But when you have the PDF, right, or that file which did not have any associated metadata with it, you go up here to the same plus, and in this case it's a report, right? So you go up to report, and so you could start typing in let's say 2010 Colorado Utilities Report. Author, let's say, let me abbreviate this, is the Governor's Energy Office. Date 2010. You could insert URL and all different sorts of information. Tags, let's say it's, we'll keep this local, Colorado. It could be energy, utilities, so on and so forth. And so you have a couple ways now of linking the PDF into that kind of the reference information. One way is simply dragging, right, the PDF into that. Another option that you would have, which I did not show here, is clicking that report that you just created, right-clicking it, and then you could, from here, you could store, or you could add an attachment to that report, right? So here you would be able to attach a stored copy of that file into that reference report that you just created. So there you go. That's a very basic, fundamental introduction to Zotero. Don't forget to download the various extensions, the Zotero standalone, and of course create your own Zotero account. One last thing before I forget is that once you access Zotero, you could request access to the Western MEM ENVS 605 group by going into the groups here in Zotero. So here this is simply showing the groups that I'm a part of. So you would then, under Zotero groups, you would search for groups, and you would search for the Western underscore MEM underscore ENBS 605 group. Click search groups. And here you would see the result for that group, right? So here you would click on the actual name, the Western MEM 605, and because it's a public group, you would see the various kind of library items that are associated or linked with this group. And if you want access to the group, either the owner or one of the admins could give you access, right? Or push access out to you, or you could go in and you could request to join the group, right, by clicking here. Okay, so a few additional things. Now I want to quickly show you how to insert items from your group library or from your personal library into a Word document. So again, here still with the Western MEM ENBS 605 group library, we've inserted a handful of items, only a couple of them. Let's go into a Word document. Let's open a new document. And so here, first off, we see that I have this toolbar already part of my Word document, and this is the Zotero toolbar. With the Microsoft Word plugin downloaded, the way that you could view this is by going to View Toolbars and by selecting the Zotero management. And so here, let's and so another thing, from this toolbar, you could insert a citation as you write. You could edit a citation, and another very important thing that you could do is insert your bibliography from within your Word document. So here, let's go ahead and start typing our paper, right? So let's say we are interested in, let's say, the impacts on urban energy systems, right? And of course, I mean, you would be much more elaborative and much more robust. But let's say at this point we want to insert a citation. So at the point where we want to insert a citation, let's go up here and let's say that, of course, in your citation style, at this point you could also select what citation style you want. Zotero has a number of citation styles already in the software or in the tool, but you could also customize these, and you could also add other citation styles depending on the journal article that you're probably submitting to, or the white paper, or depending on the style that you're that your professor or your community or your different stakeholder is interested in. So let's go with Chicago Manual style. We'll click here, and so this is the kind of the dialog box that pops up. And let's say that we want the cool surfaces article, right, to be inserted. So we could just type in a few keywords, right, or the first few words of the title. This comes up. We select the article that we want. We simply hit enter. Enter again, and the citation is automatically inserted. So here, now we want to insert another citation. Similarly, at the point where we want to insert that citation, we go up to our toolbar, click there, and let's say it's the World Bank website uh, that we had inserted earlier, which is here located in our Western MEM ENVS 605 group library. We click it, and then you hit enter, and there you go, right? It's really that easy. So, at some point, at the end of your document, you want to create a bibliography for the various works that you've cited. And so here you could either insert a page break, you could hit a few enters or spaces. You go up to the toolbar. It's the 1, 2, 3. It's the third option over to the right, which is the Zotero Insert Bibliography. Click it. Zotero does its work, and just like that, you have your bibliography automatically created and inserted into Zotero. So here, let's say at this section of our document, we want to, call it, name it Works Cited. Perhaps we want to bold this, and there you go. It's really that easy. It's a very powerful tool, and let me know if you have any questions.